Very good morning, and once again a warm welcome to IBMC's third UAE-India Business Fest 2019. This is the second leg of the third IBMC UAE-India Business Fest at Sharjah, being held at Sharjah Emirate on today. The UAE-India Business Fest 2019 will focus on more support to the UAE economic development and diversification plans by the way of conducting business workshops and industry seminars for the business and investment diversification with specific focus to SME business in non-oil sectors. IBMC had started UAE-India Business Fest in 2017, and each year we had separate themes. Last year was artificial intelligence, IoT and fintech, and this year it is SME business in non-oil sector diversification. The 2019 IBMC UAE-India Business Fest is supported by the Federation of UAE Chambers of Commerce and Industry. IBMC has successfully conducted IBMC UAE-India Business Fest in 2017 and 2018 respectively, covering all 7 Emirates in UAE. This initiative is one of the key factors for selecting IBMC for United Nations Global Compact Sustainable Development Goals SDG Pioneer Award, the organization advancing the Sustainable Development Goals, shortlisting and consideration for Corporate Social Responsibility CSR Label Award from Dubai Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The UAE-India Business Workshops, we used to conduct the second session of UAE-India Business Fest 2019, scheduled with business workshops designed to address industry needs. The workshops will start at 10:30 a.m. and cover UAE-India projects, opportunities from startups to PPP, along with the sector-wise presentations followed by panel discussions. The workshops will host industry panel discussions and Q&A. The sessions will have participation of the industry leaders from major business sectors. There will be specifically designed B2B launch for one-to-one project and investment discussion based on registrations. UAE-India Business Fest B2B launch will be the platform to sign various projects and investment contracts in different sectors for UAE and India. UAE-India Industrial and Business Seminar will be the evening session. The Fest 2019 will host industrial and business seminars addressed by industry leaders and professionals from UAE and India. The seminars will cover industry-relevant topics addressing the business and investment opportunities, current industry challenges, and solutions pertaining to the selected sectors under the focus. The seminars and discussions are intended to address existing and newly opened opportunities between India and UAE as a result of the latest bilateral relations and agreements between UAE and India. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, a warm welcome, and to officially open this session, and for the welcome and opening remarks, may I request Mr. Sajid Kumar PK, the CEO and MD of IBMC Global Network, to kindly be on the stage. So most welcome, sir.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, IBMC Media Live viewers, a very good morning all of you. We are very much happy to start the third edition of UAE-India Business Fest in Sharjah Emirate. This year, IBMC is also participating UAE's vision, the Year of Tolerance. His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the UAE, has proclaimed the year 2019 to be the Year of Tolerance in the UAE, highlighting the UAE as a global capital of tolerance and emphasizing tolerance as a universal concept aimed at entrenching the values of tolerance, dialogue, coexistence, and openness to different culture. IBMC hereby participating the great vision of UAE. This year, IBMC is focusing mainly for SME economy. We know very well about the transition stage of GCC countries, including UAE, from oil and gas economy to non-oil economy. Non-oil economy is giving a lot of opportunities for business class investors and even for more employment. SME economy is providing the opportunity for doing professional business in this country with the support of various departments and entities, and engaging the trade credit, insurance, then factoring in a redefined model. So we have structured SME economy for SME empowerment with a redefined e-commerce facility, SME trading and manufacturing empowerment SME business empowerment, redefined customer benefits, redefined insurance protection for SME, redefined factoring facility for SME. So we are providing all information today, focusing SME economy developments for Sharjah Emirate. So we have classified today's event into 4 areas. First, panel discussion will focus for Sharjah SME economy, the big picture. So considering that non-oil sector opportunities coming up, India UAE Business First is providing information, the next level of information to avail all opportunities in non-oil sector business. SME economy, the big picture, so starting from the India-focused activities. So why India? Why India is important for UAE for non-oil sector activities? India having 2 major stock exchanges and leading stock exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, having 5,000 plus listed companies. 5,000 plus listed companies from 36 different sectors, that's mainly from non-oil. So non-oil sector diversification, India economy is the best model where UAE can adopt and UAE can follow for non-oil sector the investment or business diversifications. Sharjah SME economy, the big picture, the first panel discussion will provide the view and the focus of the growth of GDP contribution from Sharjah economy. So Sharjah Emirate, how they can able to develop, what all opportunities are coming up with the government facilities, free zone facilities, and inviting the investors by providing various opportunities. So we will be discussing about that the SME, small, medium enterprises, but SME economy, if it is coming up from grocery to MNC company, are participating into the economy. So small, medium enterprises focused economy is going to happen. So we were, past years, we were getting that the all margin or cushioning or supportive measures from the oil and gas sector. Going forward, we need to see the non-oil sector performance. So non-oil sector performance definitely will come from the ground level market. So ground level market, even though from the grocery and stepping up to the MNC level, even cosmetic is also using from the common man from MNC company. So, but it is distributing from the SME level, or it is taking up the trading level to the lower level companies, even though the startup companies are coming up. So startup to the MNC level, how this SME model will influence for the growth of the GDP of UAE. So today we will discuss the first session on SME economy, Sharjah SME economy, the big picture, and what all opportunities we will get it. Second, Sharjah SME economy, how to achieve full potential. That is also important. So the second step, okay, opportunities are there. How to utilize the existing our expertise or business, the experiences in various sectors or interacting with the multiple countries or multiple business models what we are following up as international trading hub from UAE. Third is Sharjah SME economy, new funding and financial tools and new regulations. So it's very much important to start a new business in the non-oil sector. So we should understand the proper regulations of the country, and again the tax aspects we need to follow. Then the funding, the new funding styles are coming up. So they comparing with the US or European economy, whenever 2008 financial downturn, 2 major elements were supporting the economy. That one was the crowdfunding, second was the SME activities. So considering this both levels, definitely we are focusing the third panel for new funding and financial tools and new regulations. So fourth panel will focus think big. So that is for the growth of UAE and especially focusing today for Sharjah Emirate. So think big in the sense of next level. We need to think on different diversification programs, how the government is doing at present. So each and every common man or investor or business person should focus for the diversified activities. So how they can able to enter into that whenever these non-oil sector opportunities are coming up. So how to make it the success. So with the government departments. So and who are located in UAE. And IBMC believe that they are having sufficient knowledge in the market and they can produce more result in SME economy concept and whenever government is focusing for non-oil sector diversification programs. Thank you so much. I am sure that you can able to enjoy and you can follow all the presentation and discussions in future for making your each business in success. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Before we move on to the next session, just a few highlights. You can connect your Wi-Fi using the free Wi-Fi available here. It is Sharjah Chamber of Commerce guest Wi-Fi is available. You can get connected to IBMC's media channel, that is YouTube channel, IBMC Media. You can search for IBMC Media in YouTube and the program's live sessions can be shared in IBMC Media YouTube channel as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the third session of IBMC UAE-India Business Fest and already the program outline has been discussed today. A couple of things to highlight when it comes to the Sharjah Emirate. Sharjah is the third largest emirate in UAE in terms of population and it is a $25 billion GDP in this particular emirate. And this is a home for nearly 54,000 plus SME companies. And probably this only the one emirate which is sharing two coastline, Indian Ocean and Arabian Gulf. So strategically, there are a lot of advantages for this particular emirate. And going forward, today we'll be discussing a lot of opportunities and new initiatives, the challenges, opportunities of different segment, specifically focusing to SME economy in non-oil sector diversification. So moving on to the next session, it is a panel discussion. The first industry panel discussion is Sharjah SME economy, the big picture, the growing contribution of SME sector to Sharjah's GDP, non-oil diversification, growth limiting factors, current SME challenges. And the panel will be joining moderator Mr. Bhaskar Raj, he's a senior journalist in UAE, Mr. Sohan Roy, Dr. Tariq Nisami, Harpreet Singh Khurana, he's the CFO of Voice Consultancy. Before we move on to the panel discussion, there is a brief presentation on SME economy by Mr. Harpreet Singh Khurana. He's a CFO of Voice Consultancy. So we will start with a short presentation on SME economy by Mr. Harpreet Singh, and we will move on to the panel discussion. May I request Mr. Harpreet Singh Khurana, the CFO of Voice Consultancy, to be kindly on the stage, please. A brief introduction about Mr. Harpreet Singh Khurana. He's a versatile, successful accountant and finance professional with 3 decades of post-qualification experience. He is a fellow member of all the 3 institutes like Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Institute of Cost Accountants of India, Institute of Company Secretaries of India. He has vast experience of controlling accounts, design and implementation of MIS, financial controlling function, debt and equity fundraising, the team building and A&F department, business model re-engineering, detailed business plan and strategy gathering financial models with keeping a close eye on the development. This professional journey of 30 years have provided him insight regarding valuations of various key assets of companies with the overriding objective of developing a company valuation. He has always keeps his eyes on the cost and development of the company so that the management has its surprises. At Voice Consultancy, he has been looking after practices of SME, MIS reporting, sports entertainments for the last 5 years.
Good morning, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Well, very warm welcome to all of you. I feel it's very happy to present this presentation on SME opportunities, specifically in Sharjah, and the challenges and how to overcome those challenges. So, UAE offers exciting business environment in the region given its strategic location. This location is very important and very strategically and which is giving a lot of opportunities to the trade, commerce, and other in this. Because trade and commerce has sustained economic life in country and has established a solid foundation for the growth of small and medium enterprises. SME contributes about 60% of the GDP of UAE, and SME has more than 90% job opportunities. It's SME everywhere contributes more, the job opportunities, and so is here. This field is a little special because here almost 3/4 of the SMEs are into the trade and retail. All those small SMEs, restaurants, cafeteria, groceries, small shops, all those things. And remaining 1/4 is shared between manufacturing and services. Half of these SMEs which are operating on an international trade. When this is international trade, they are basically exporting from this country. And they are also doing into a third-party trade, buying from ABC countries, selling to the DF countries, and operating from here because of its a logistic advantage of UAE. UAE also enjoys, what are the basic advantages of UAE and for SME and for trade and commerce? A, here's a tax incentive. B, ease of doing business. And C, it is strategically located. You can reach almost 2/3 of the world within 8 hours of flight time. There are a lot of opportunities available in this for this. Why these opportunities are and what are the promising sectors? Number one is a visionary leadership. With progressive forwarding thinking policies of the government, the UAE encourages foreign investments into in this oil-rich country. Investment in Expo 2020 is another example of visionary leadership. The government of Sharjah has a long-term plan that focuses heavily on growing new businesses with main thrust on real estate, manufacturing, and warehouses. Sharjah Economic Development Department report says that non-oil sector account for 92% of the Emirates' total GDP. Sharjah's 2018 non-GDP oil hits 90 billion, approximately $25 billion. The Sharjah FDI office, which invests in Sharjah, has announced the date of the 5th edition of its annual flagship event, the Sharjah FDI Forum, which will take place next month, November 11th and 12th. And it's held under the patronage of His Highness Dr. Sheikh Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasmi, member of the Supreme Council and ruler of Sharjah. This 5th edition of the event is expected to host more than 1,000 leading regional and global names from a multitude of industries, which will be deliberating on the future of FDI behavior worldwide. This thrust of the Sharjah Emirates on this attracting investments is one of the biggest opportunity available. And this FDI forum, which is an annual feature in this Emirate, helps a lot of it. The other flexibility, the other opportunity is because it's in this flexibility and ease of doing business. Setting up a company in UAE is much easier and very straightforward. You can have plenty of free zones which you can choose off of it. And majority of the free zones also, they are very forward-looking, they are very cooperative, and they also have established their offices outside UAE also. Safe Zone, Hamria, all those, they have offices in different cities of India, China, and other countries where we can easily, you can go and get there. Sometimes even coming here for opening of a company is also not required. So that is things. Another advantage is there is no taxation, that the taxation is very favorable taxation. So these two are also another opportunity doing business in this part of the world. And another is this, because of its unique geographical advantage of this country, UAE provides advanced infrastructure facilities to all fields and is blessed with a strategic location between, and you can reach the 70% of the world countries within 8-kilometer flight time, as already informed you, and make it accessible a major emerging economics, linking shipping routes and facilitates goods transportation between the various regions. The other biggest opportunity is tourism. Tourism is a very wider term, but if we take the tourism into further details, we can easily say that UAE is the business tourist capital of the world. When it says business tourist capital, because a lot of conferences, meetings are being, workshops are having in this part of the world. So the business tourism, which we in the hospitality industry, they use the word MICE, meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions. That is a very big opportunity here. Then, of course, medical tourism. Then then education. Almost all universities have set up a campus or have an arrangement here with this. So all neighboring country students come over here for study. So that is also an opportunity. Then another opportunity which we are not aware of is old age homes. There are a lot of old people who have shown interest coming over in this part of the world and spending their older years. The main reason is specifically from the cold weather countries, Canada and other countries. The atmosphere and the weather in this country is very conducive to the old people. So that is another opportunity which the old age homes where we can work on it. UAE hosts millions of visitors every year, and this opens a huge opportunity for the business that caters to the tourist in one way or the other. So all these are the opportunities which are available to the SMEs where we can work on it and do it. And when there's a very old saying, this is when there is an opportunity, there is a challenge, and when there is a challenge, there is an opportunity. They both go hand in hand. Sometimes SMEs could not contribute to full potential. The reason is their lower lending penetration, which leads to higher failure rate of the sectors. In the last 5 years, almost all GCC government companies has made significant headway in nourishing the overall SME environment by establishing specialized bodies, regulations, and programs. Sharjah also has invested in Sharjah, then Raud investments. All those things are basically dedicated to. All those investments are dedicated to all this for SMEs. Being associated with SME and worked for SME for around 3 decades, I can easily understand what are their challenges and how to come on those challenges. The one biggest challenge which all SMEs journalists are having, they basically lack robust business plan. SME needs to distinguish themselves from others through unique and innovative business model to gain interest and support of financial institutions, such as bank, private equity firms, and VC funds. According to a white paper released by the UAE's Khalifa Fund on SME financing, the rejection rate among SMEs planning for a loan in the UAE ranges between 50 to 70%. That's the reason, primary reason is due to lack of progress building a proper financial infrastructure and very little information on credit worthiness. Securing finance is the second biggest challenge for our SMEs. It therefore becomes essential that young entrepreneurs understand how they can better engage the support of financial institutions with a solid business plan that is based on managed growth, innovation businesses, and strategic capital utilization. Plan at a various evolution stage of the company. Detailed financial modeling with emphasis on cash flow in addition to profitability paves the way for the success and helps in approaching the financial institutions for the funding requirement. So this challenge of robust business plan has to be overcome with a detailed working from the beginning of the company. Then is a banking. Because of a lot of changes, banking will continue to change. We have KYC, we have CRS, we have FACTAs, really all those things have, banking requirement is a big challenge. And because of these bank challenges, banks are basically, sometimes banks are due to their overemphasis on compliances, banks are even closing the operative accounts. They are reluctant to open new bank accounts. So all those things is also a big challenge, where the banks needs to understand and see things from a case-to-case basis. What are things? Because it's very easy to open a company here, but after opening the company, opening a bank account is a big challenge. So for that, the banking industry has to take care and then help SMEs to get this done. Other thing is lack of funding for cross-border trade. The third part, shipment. As I in the beginning of my presentation, I told that half of the business is coming from international trade, buying from ABC country and selling to DF countries. So now banks are basically, they are not funding these things. Banks are reluctant to finance international trade and generally discourage and not extend the support in current business scenario. So that bank also has to understand and do it on a case-to-case basis. Other biggest challenge is corporate governance. From business dominance, a large share of SMEs in the GCC. The family, majority of the SME businesses are owned by the family. Conversely, they face a typical family business issue of sorting and distinction between ownership and management, building success plans and separating family finances from the company finances is a big issue. Family dominance also makes it difficult for SMEs to attract non-family managers, non-family technical persons. And sometimes over-centralized power in a family can also push even talented family members of the company to leave the company, which further complicate SMEs human resource does. So SMEs also need to understand and emphasis on differentiate between their own corporate governances. That is very important. So it is imperative that SME should set up a formal governance structure with financial transparency guidelines in the initial stage of incorporation. So if they started this in the initial stage, the start of the corporation, so these factors enhance their business performance and their capability through fundraising, and also it helps them to form a strategic partnership with international companies, with multinationals. The other challenge is a high cost of operation. As I said, that all these small SMEs, they are small companies, small grocery stores, cafeterias, restaurants, saloons, and all those things. So they are working on a very fixed overheads, whereas with a change in the economy, so they are not able to reduce their overheads, and becomes all of a sudden profit making becomes a loss making. And they are not able to withstand the slowdown, adjusted business modesty. So they have to basically work more dynamically and ensure wherever their overheads can be controlled, they must be controlled. The other biggest challenge is the business innovation. SME typically operates in highly competitive market with thin profit margins, largely due to relatively lower adoption of innovation and productivity improving technologies and approaches. Given that innovation is increasingly becoming a global name, SME should think towards merging and combining talent, ideas, insights, and resources across the world to come up with stimulating and disruption business models, especially in the wake of upcoming Dubai Expo 2020, which is likely to open the door to a host of fresh opportunities for new market entrants. Other challenges are taxation, excise, and VAT. 2 years back, October 2017, the first time the excise has been introduced on some specific activities. Then in 2018, we have VAT, and now next month, December 2017, this excise has been extended to another sweetened beverages and all those things. So here we are not used to all these things, so that this introduction of taxation poses a big challenge for the SMEs specifically. The other thing is majority of this export here is a cash-based exports. People come from other countries, buy the things and go. So when they come, they buy the things, they go. The SME people, they are not able to produce the, make documents, paper which shows that is an exports. So there's no custom inspection, there is no bill of exit, so they are not able to get that 5% VAT refund. So that 5% VAT refund they have to absorb, so it becomes their cost is higher. So they are not being able to compete with the other multinationals for their exports. So they have to basically, all SMEs to understand, have a complete VAT and excise planning and ensure that the documentation should be complete. And the next is talent development is also a very big challenge for SMEs. SMEs in the GCC also have a challenge of acquiring talent and retaining it. Most of the time it's honor driven, and to run and grow a business effectively, an honor of MD should be removed from the distractions of running the day-to-day operations. Tacticals and strategy has to be different. It's a very old saying. This is when you're in the jungle, you see here, there, you just find the trees. To have the jungle, to see the jungle, you have to come out of the jungle. So similarly, top management has to be basically concentrate only on the strategy, and the tactical should be left to the managers. Leadership is a way of thinking, a way of acting, and most importantly, a way of communicating, and communicating effectively. So all these are the challenges and opportunities coupled with challenges, how to overcome and how to do this. Wise consultancy. Wise consultancy is SME for SMEs. We are subject matter expert for SMEs. We take leadership in hand-holding SMEs from the beginning, from the incorporation of the company, choosing the best destination, and then incorporation of the company, their robust business plan, hand-holding for their banking needs, their SOPs, all those corporate governances, the systems, procedures, chart of account, then advising them correctly on their VAT, excise, accounting, auditing, and with us on the board, exploring and approaching M&A activities become possible for MSCs. SME may also engage our services for mentoring the family owners, senior management, and helps to retain the talent. At last, I guess we're here to guide and advise you wisely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Harpreet. Now we will move on to the panel discussion, and may I request Harpreet to be kindly be on the stage, please, and may I request the moderator for the day, Mr. Bhaskar Raj, to be kindly join us on the stage. Mr. Bhaskar Raj is a senior journalist in UAE, over years of experience with leading multinational Gulf newspapers and leading channels. So I request Mr. Bhaskar Raj to kindly join us. And I also request Mr. Sohan Roy, the founder, chairman, and CEO of Aries Group of Companies UAE, and Mr. Dr. Tariq Nizami, the founder and CEO of CEO Club Networks Worldwide, to kindly join us on the stage, please. Let me introduce the other panel members. We have with us the other panel members, Mr. Sohan Roy, the award-winning Hollywood film director, CEO and founder of various group of companies. He's a naval architect, writer, poet with the Guinness Book of and Oscar entries. He is India's first Hollywood director with mainstream Oscar entries. He has directed the first film from India to qualify for the Golden Rooster Award, the Chinese Oscar in 2012. He is the founder and CEO of Aries Group of Companies UAE, a global consortium of 50 companies operating in 16 countries. He is a media specialist who owns 3 global TV channels with a state-of-art production house and studio. He is a member of International Academy of Television's Art and Science. He is promoting Indo-Asian film collaborations to a global level, initiating Indo-China, Indo-Oman, Indo-Lenco, and Indo-Saudi film partnerships and co-productions. Its latest acquisitions are Vismaya Max, one of the largest post-production studio in India, and Epic Studio, the largest 3D motion picture studio in India. He's a director, project designer, and producer of award-winning Hollywood movies and documentaries that entered international accolades, including 23 Oscar selections and 127 international recognitions. He is listed among the top 50 Indian business leaders in the Arab world by Forbes from 2015 to 2019. A versatile creative entrepreneur, philanthropist, writer, poet, director who proved himself worthy in the areas of expertise. Sir, most welcome, Mr. Sohan Roy. And let me introduce our other panel member, Dr. Tariq Ahmad Nisami. He is a founder of CEO Clubs Network worldwide, having its local chapter CEO Clubs UAE, which is the largest business networking club in the world, having presence in 24 countries with more than 18,000 exclusive elite CEOs and high executive members worldwide. CEO Clubs Network hold regular exclusive business events in Dubai and other parts of the world to provide platform for international businessmen to meet local business, to explore and connect business opportunities between elite exclusive members worldwide. He has education from USA with more than 35 years of experience by heading an international holding company which has interest in real estate, gold and diamond, oil, trading, travel, entertainment, media, hospitality, CEO Club networks, medical, charitable institution, fashion, education, financial and information technology. Tariq Ahmad Nisami has received more than 22 international awards and appreciations, including United States Presidential Medal 1989, USA, and Middle East Award Masterclass Entrepreneur of the Year by GCC Chamber of Commerce and Industry in 2012. He is also the United Nations Global Compact Initiative representative in UAE and a UN UAE Steering Committee member and an executive director of Hollywood Studios International, Los Angeles, USA, which makes Hollywood movies. He is also the CEO of CEO Clubs Holding, a group parent company. Sir, most welcome. So let's start the panel discussion, and over to the moderator, Mr. Bhaskar Raj.
Good morning, ladies, no ladies around. Good morning, gentlemen. First of all, let me congratulate IBMC for selecting this topic, SME economy, as the theme for this year's UAE-India Business Fest. This is at a time when we find that the SME sector is fast emerging as the backbone of UAE's economy by way of contribution to the GDP as well as employment generation. Then also, as Mr. Sajid Kumar said, that diversification to non-oil economy. We know that now how there are some statistics. Mr. Khurana has given a very, very clear picture. The big picture he has actually presented. Now, what SME sector, the importance of this, the challenges and all of this. Let me see some statistics. According to ministries of UAE Ministry of Economy, the SME sector represents more than 94% of the total number of companies operating in the country and provide jobs for more than 86% of the private sector workforce. In Dubai alone, SMEs make up around 95% of all companies, employing 42% of the workforce and contributing around 40% to the GDP of Dubai. The ministry's another statistics say that more than 350,000 businesses that fall under the SME category, representing, as I said, 94% of the total workforce, and more than 55,000 and 200 of these companies are based in Sharjah. Since our focus is Sharjah, that means 52,200 companies, SMEs, are there in the Sharjah Emirates alone. The overall number of SMEs provide in Sharjah around 86% of the private sector workforce, reaffirming the importance and support given to the vital sector in boosting the economic growth of this emirate. Sharjah-based SMEs constitute 60% of the total number of SMEs in the UAE. This underlines the crucial role that Sharjah plays in supporting all these kinds of projects, which constitute considerable percentage of the overall GDP in the UAE, and the key elements to its economic diversification, which also continues to projects, the UAE is unaffected position, we know that, position by the impact of fluctuations elsewhere in the world. Sharjah's strategic location, investor-friendly policies, and ease of doing business have continued to attract more SMEs to the sector. For example, in the first quarter alone this year, capital investment in Sharjah's economy exceeded almost 500 million US dollar. Now, as we are glad that we are very fortunate that we have as our panel members members who have actually proven their mettle in their own chosen field, like Mr. Khurana, who himself is a consultant who has, as he said, that he's SME for SMEs. He has actually given guidance to most SMEs how they can face these challenges, as well as solutions he has provided. And Mr. Sohan Roy, as he said, he himself is a proven businessman. He has actually blended his business acumen, artistic pursuits, literary pursuits, and everything into business, and how he can structure or even write a good script of how to make a business successful. Especially in the maritime industry, he said he has proven track record of starting a small company, and it has grown to international stature. Then more than that, I would like to talk about his literary pursuits. Actually, he's a proven lyricist. Actually, who enlightened people every day by his social criticism or something in a humorous touch. So that is actually congratulations. Thank you very much. And as Dr. Tariq actually, he's an essential CEO. So he can give us a broader picture, the real big picture of his networking, how he has networked with other CEOs, and the experience he has gained from this networking, and his own experience as an entrepreneur will give us guidance to the SMEs. So let's now start with Mr. Khurana. He said he has given a good picture of that one. In fact, you have listed the challenges. But what we would like to hear, and the SMEs here, the solutions, the practical solutions you can give. We know that there are challenges like banking facilities there, the problems of opening a bank account, facilities are being cut and all of this. But what are the practical solutions you can give to SMEs to face these challenges? It works.
As you've seen from my presentation, that yes, there are challenges, but I've explained how to overcome that challenge. So banking is a challenge, yes. If you approach to a bank and we get failed, why? Because as an SME, when we approach to a bank, we are not fully prepared. So before approaching a bank, if we have our own complete, robust business plan, which clearly shows how we overcome over a period of next 5 to 7 years, how this will go, and with a complete cash flow, with what is our strength, what is USP of the company which I'm operating. So if I have a complete robust business plan with USP, with the growth, with the cash flow and profitability, and we can easily convince bank to get this done. And there are other alternate funding is also available other than the normal, routine, traditional banking funding. In the post-lunch session, my partner Tirupati will take care of all those things. But some of those are, there are, as we all know, there is a private equity is there are venture capital is there. There are some funding which is available outside the balance sheets. In details will be discussed in the second half. They may be factoring, there may be reverse factoring, there may be all those things. So basically, if we at SME level, if we prepare ourselves well, then we can overcome those challenges. So banking challenges can be overcome with a detailed, robust, understanding business plan, with a detailed corporate governance. The other thing which banks creates problem is, oh, it's a family owned, there's a legacy issue. So if I have a complete governance from the beginning, how the strategy will come, what will be the, how it looks at the organization chart, how it will go over a period, what are the policies available, how these SOPs are there. See, if we can demonstrate this to the bank and to the lending institution, they get a more and more comfort with us. So we have a robust business plan, we have our corporate governance, and wherever required, talented technical manpower. So if a SME has all these three things, the majority of the challenges which can be taken care of.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Now over to Mr. Roy. As I said, no, he has scripted a very, very successful success story of how to start a small SME business in maritime industry and to grow it to international stage. So what are your experience as starting, and how you faced any teething troubles to start it, and how successful has it been?
If you ask me why Sharjah is the best place for an SME and for its growth, my life story is the best to showcase. 97, when we started Aries Group, we started with 5 people in a 2-bedroom apartment in Sharjah, in Rolla. Today, we are in 16 countries with 50 companies, around 1,800 professionals working. Not only that, today we are world #1 in almost 5 fields. Still, we keep Sharjah as our head office, because the most efficient office right now in our entire, all the UAE offices, we have offices in all the Emirates. If you look at the most efficient activities, it happens at Sharjah office. Because there, we still believe that we are not that much comfortable with the other Emirates. Because here in Sharjah, every employee, they can stay 5 minutes around the office, 24 hours, because we are in our core activities in the maritime sector. Maritime sector means 24 hours you need to serve, 365 days you should be active. So for that, the first thing is all your employees, your tools, everything should be in the hand reach distance. That is absolutely possible in Sharjah. It is quite difficult if you go to Dubai side and Abu Dhabi side. It is quite difficult to manage such an environment. So that is the first thing. So right now we are, instead of what is the secret for this growth and to become the world #1. To become world #1 is not easy at all. An example, I will tell you what the difference. For example, our design department. I am basically a ship designer. Our design department is supposed to be right now the most efficient design department in the world. Last year, the most important in the shipping sector, the most important design change happens in shipping is the green ship revolution. That is, all the ships should switch over to the green ship concept. You need to avoid the sulfur emissions. You need to avoid the ballast water management. Major requirement is there. So millions of money the ship owners should spend on the ships to convert it. The deadline is there. Last year, 250 vessels we did this conversion, where our next competitor, we did this 250 vessels with the Indian manpower, with the Asian, with an office in Sharjah. Our competitor, international competitor, did only 20 vessels. That is the difference. So what is the secret of this huge difference? Today we believe that we don't have competitor. 5 years back, we switched over the system from quality management system. All the companies right now is following ISO system. So we developed a new system, because we have a research center in Sharjah itself. That is the only research center in the maritime sector. That is the only research center that is in Sharjah. It's an industrial research center. We developed a new concept. Even I am doing my industry doctorate in that subject. It's called efficiency management system. Instead of going for the quality management system, you go for efficiency management system. How to change the efficiency of each individual in your organization, your process, your equipments, everything, how to improve the efficiency. Once your efficiency is increased, naturally your organization's growth is directly proportional to that. Your profit is directly proportional to that. Before 5 years, our principle was like, you spend $100 and you generate $120, your profit is $20. After this one, because the market started sliding, maritime industry was going through a very bad phase, the profit margin got reduced, the competition, and because of the competition, the margin became 20 from 1918. It reduced. One day, we knew that it will become 100 is to 100, there is no profit. So what we did was we followed the efficiency management system. We reduced that $100 investment to $70. By improving the efficiency, we reduced the operating cost by 30%. That became our profit. So almost all our competitors vanished from the scene now. No more, we don't believe that there is a competitor, real competitor for us in the whole Middle East. Almost 70% job we are only doing. So to improve that efficiency, almost 200 parameters we identified, drain holes we identified. We plugged one by one. We made a tool because it is manually it is not possible. So we developed a software called Time to improve my efficiency. That is the name of the software. Every member in the organization, from CEO to the office boy, has to follow that one. Every day is planned, every week is planned, every month is planned, every job is planned. Before, whether it is a 5-minute job or a 50-minute job or a 50 days job, every job once you identified, we can call it as a job only if you mention that this is the delivery time, this is the processing time. This much time only I will spend. Once you spend, you have to declare that I finish it on this time and I took this much time. Without that, our company or our system will not accept any job. When we started this process, there was huge opposition from the staff because they were following in a different track. But within 1 month, they started, because they became addicted to the system. They start, because every day I know that this is today's my efficiency. So I started competing with myself instead of competing with another person. I wanted to become today's as better than my yesterday. So it became a game. So today's efficiency should be better than my yesterday's efficiency. So naturally the company efficiency started growing. The drain holes started plugging, and you won't believe the rework in our system before 5 years was 40%. Because when you are doing a rework, nobody is going to pay. Customer is unhappy, we are wasting time. Today our rework percentage is not even 11%. So the customers are happy. Before we used to deliver a report after 1 week. Today we can deliver it in 2 days. Still our competitors are delivering things after 1 week. So this way, now what we are doing is we are trying to give this tool to the entire business community here. By January onwards, we are going to, professionally we are going to deliver this one. We already started making a billionaires club actually. That is, we started from India, that concept, but the most active chapter is in Dubai. In India, what we are doing is, whoever got 100 crore and above, we are starting an Indian billionaires club. So we are giving this tool to all these billionaires because they can change their organization. Once they can change their industry, that way when your organization changes, when your industry changes, naturally your country is also changing. So same way in Sharjah, this SME sector, if you start implementing this system, naturally your organization will be going up, your industry assets will be growing up, Sharjah assets will be growing up. And when Sharjah grow up, naturally UAE is grow up. So that way, because I believe that I spend more of my life in UAE, it is my responsibility to make sure UAE grow much above other GCC countries. That should be my primary duty actually. I believe so. I am an Indian, but I believe that I spend majority of my time in UAE, and it is my duty to share that experience, share that secret. And anyone here wish to know more about it, please come to our office. We give a free demonstration, we give a free guideline, everything. It's open to all.
Okay, you are a proven businessman with acumen and all those things, and you are very lucky that you have been successful. But you must have faced some challenges in your initial years. Now, what were they?
Yeah, see, I think in 2007, you must know the worst 2008, March 28 was our opening day of the company. You won't believe that was the same week the oil price went down to $6. You know the crisis in Middle East when the oil price went down to $30 recently. You just believe that it was the worst fall in the history of the oil sector. And
first oil shock.
Yeah, oil shock. And the maritime industry is directly linked to the oil industry those days. So it was the worst. It was really a nightmare. You won't believe our inspections rates went down by, you can say 80% went down. Because, for example, hull inspection, we used to charge per spot 12 dirhams just before this one. Maybe I can say the gap of 1 month, the price difference. From $12 dirhams, when we started our first job, we did it for 3.5 dirhams. That is the way the price difference happened. 3.5 dirhams means no profit out of that one. So almost you won't believe, 2 months it took for me to take my first salary from the company. That was the crisis. There was no money in the market. No one was releasing, but we took it positively because the entire industry was looking for a change because they had to find out new subcontractors for better rates. So we took it positively. We tried to penetrate that market. So
the message is that don't be disheartened by temporary setbacks.
Yeah, no need, because that is a new opportunity actually. You took it positively, you change your strategy. Immediately you change your strategy, okay? Because initially we planned everything for the 12 dirhams spot rate. But when the market collapsed, we changed our strategy. We planned for this 3 dirham, 4 dirham range we planned. So that is what you have to do.
But have you faced financial challenges like banking facilities were not available or something? Now, how did you actually overcome?
See, I told you, I could not take my salary for 2 years. That was the condition. So only thing is we tried to minimize our operating costs to the minimum. We did not go for drastic expansion or something. We managed, everyone, even our employees also, they cooperated. Many people actually, they did not even take the full salary for a month actually. All these people are still with us, but that day we took a new management policy. We decided 50% of the shares belongs to the employees because they all supported us. So still we are following that system. 50% of our shares for all the employees we give. We give pension scheme for all the employees. Even the parents in our company, parents of our employees, on 1st of every month they get, both father and mother get a pension. We take care of the medical facilities, everything. So because of this thing, we took a different turn, a different management system, everything. It is, in 2016, we got the best employer of the country award from India. So that was the main criteria, was the way we are taking care of our HR and other things. That was the main criteria. I don't think still there is any other company is following this management principle. It is really working out, and I am so happy that we started everything from Sharjah.
Thank you. Dr. Tariq, now let's hear from you the CEO's view from your gas cabin. Now, what can you say that away from that one, there are actually grassroots level differences, grassroots level challenges we are facing actually. What's your advice to budding entrepreneurs?
First of all, I'd like to thank IBMC for hosting the third and continue that commitment for promoting all the Emirates into the Indian business community, and especially thanks to Mr. Sajid Kumar and his team, for hosting and giving us a chance to share our thoughts and everything. You talk about challenges in SME sector, for example. Let me just brief a little bit. We are a business organization from US, more than 3 decades old, and we have thousands of, more than now 20,000 plus members from all industries. From big SMEs and startups. So challenges is something that I think every company, doesn't matter how the economy is going, are always be facing. It's just a matter of which level of challenges are. If you look at current market, let's say if I take a real estate market, this is, people are talking in, let's say in UAE, that the real estate market is slowed down. But I look at different way. If the market is up, you sell, and market is down, you buy. So I don't see any problem in real estate. It's all about how you look at your investment, how you make your strategies, and how do you approach to the industry. SME sector, as you know, in UAE or in Sharjah, let's put it this way, or all the Emirates, they always have challenges. They have financial institutions. They're not creating, they're just following the guidelines of central bank. But maybe sometime that I feel that those guidelines or those procedures should be changed or should be altered, according to the local environment, because what we are doing today, our business, is way different than even 5 years ago. Forget about 10, 20 years ago, but the rules and regulations we're following for decades for the same thing. Technology is playing a very key role in our environment, innovation and everything, especially the SMEs, which is the backbone of this lovely country we call home, that they have to be fully supported in every level. not only from financial sector, from different government departments, different private sectors and everything. And the way that I feel the solution of these challenges are that this is the time that we always hear merger between the banks, major banks or major organizations. This is the time to survive in the current environment that I feel that we should start seeing the merger in SME levels. You know, if they are consultants, they are accountants, they are different trading companies, they should merge because remember the market is shrinking. It's not the companies, the market is shrinking. The only way to survive, you control your cost, you control the market. See, the demand is not increasing, and I think this is mostly the local business people or local government or local emirates of every emirate from Abu Dhabi to Ajman to Ras Al Khaimah to Sharjah or Dubai. They have to find a way to increase the demand, you know, in different industries. And how to increase that this is the brainstorming session that I think the private sector and the both have to sit down. Because what I hear that, oh, so X free zone or X, you know, they created so many new licenses. But if you look at it, that how much the business has increased, not much. If you go to the retail industry right now, most of the SMEs are in retail and food, I mean F&B section and everything. But if you look at it, you know, there are new restaurants opening, new retail outlets are there in the mall and everything. But the market is not increased. So I think somehow there should be a control on that. There should be a monitoring that if the market is this and the demand is X number of companies to cater the demand, that should be there until the demand is increased. And I'm sure we all go to the different malls here. You see the food courts are more busy than the retail area. So I think maybe we should have a food court malls rather than a retail malls, you know, here. So I think we have to somehow see our challenges and the only solution, again, I mentioned is the team efforts. People are an expert, you know, in shipping or in consultancy different. Somehow we have to shrink the supply to cater our demand market and it doesn't matter which economy we sit in, you know, challenges always will be there. And if you look at the history of last 30 years, every 8-9 years there is a bubble happens in anywhere in the world. We feel it in UAE very quickly because it's a small country. A country like US, China, India, everybody, everywhere they're facing it, but sometimes it takes time them to realize it. Even China, I mean, you know, I am an advisor to Chinese government on their first man-made island that they are making like a palm. First man-made island in Xiamen City, and I'm their advisor bringing international brands and they're building the marina, the hospitality industry, amusement park and everything. Believe me, I thought it was when they hired me more than 2 years ago, you know, that it would be easy, but no, they have a lot of challenges. Not only bring the people, is the domestic challenges, and they have to face it. So what I'm trying to say is that in this country or this Sharjah, you know, Emirates, there are a lot of opportunities, and I think Sharjah is the one. I think in the building we are sitting right now, what I understand, Chamber have more than 70,000 members of the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce, you know. So there are a lot of, and I'm sure majority of it are SMEs in here. And it's all about how you service them, how you communicate with them. And with my organization, the network, you know, we are very by invitation only. And I'm very glad that we are the only private organization recipient of Dubai Quality Award from Sheikh Mohammed last year. That because we have delivered. We have brought more than close to $1 billion business into Dubai in different sectors. And this, how we do it, we connect people, the right. Because if you look at it in the market, it's all about how you get your business. You can talk about, you can meet a lot of people, but it's how you connect and how secure you feel in that business. So in my business and networking, other than my own personal businesses, that I always recommend people that go out, meet your like-minded people, grow your business by adding professional team, adding partnerships, adding collaborations. That's a one way that definitely you can bypass or recover or expand your challenges in the current market.
Thank you. Mr. Khurana, to a larger extent, we can say that we can blame the SMEs themselves for not growing to their full potential, maybe because they are not seeking professionals, support from consultants, or even not doing the market study well, or even the homework they are not doing well, and not knowing the reality of the markets. So, especially for availing facilities, bank facilities, because now banks are providing any number of facilities, but usually the bankers say that because they are not coming prepared, especially with the audited reports, even other reports also, the transparency is a major problem. What is your experience? Now, why is happening that? Because the banks are there to finance them, but they are not approaching the right way. Are they?
It's more of a mindset. As a majority of SMEs, they are family-owned companies. When a family-owned company, the majority of the decision is lied with a single person in the family. And since he has started this company, a new company is being started, for all they are controlling all these expenses. They consider any taking detail or any advice from a professional, they consider as an expense. In reality, it's an investment.
Yeah.
So that's a basic mindset which has to be changed. And then others, as is the networking and all those things. It's more of a basically planning, because we fail to plan. We are basically, if we fail to plan, we are planning to fail. That is what your happening is. So if we, just from the beginning, the day some idea comes to our mind, we work on it, into operation a company, having complete synthesis. When you talk to the bank, a banker is getting a lot of certificate, he got a lot of comfort. Oh, this company, they have done all these things. Because what happened is a family-owned company, bank has given a loan, they have siphoned the fund, they have taken this, because they said, this is my company, I can do this. But the company and person has to be differentiated. If you differentiate between a company and a person, it will help. So, and how it can be done? It can have with a complete corporate governance. So if for any SMEs, if from the beginning they have complete set of procedures, complete set of things, because it's an old saying, this is well begun means half work done. So if they have all these things, bankers get the comfort. Banks are there to give money. Banks are not here not to give money, because that is their business. They are here to give money. Banks have to give money. But at the end of the day, they need certain documentation which is to be completed. And those documents have to be prepared in that structured manner only.
Yeah.
So if all these SMEs, they work, they basically, ultimately again and again I'm saying, just from the beginning, they have to have a detailed plan, and then on the basis of that plan, they work on it, and they will be succeed. That's the only thing. So the planning at each stage, at the beginning stage, is very, very important. If we fail to plan, then definitely we are planning to fail.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Roy, especially, your success is that the well-planned projects, well-planned, the strategy, which has actually, given rise to the success of that one. So, what we notice is that most of these companies, SMEs actually, they have a herd mentality. If a successful business is there, others will just follow blindly without knowing whether demand is there or whether they can actually, cater to that market or the market size itself. So what is your advice? What they should do first, know the market well, then only they can then venture out. Don't you think so?
See, to be successful in business, the thing is, your level of success depends on how far you can have the vision actually. It is for 1 year or 2 year or 5 year. In our system, we always think 5 years or 10 years ahead. Many things what we are now working in our research center is something we need to use for after 5 years or 10 years. For example, your mobile what you are using today, actually someone worked on this technology maybe 10 years, 20 years back. So that kind of creative mindset you should have, then only you will think about the future. Right now we are working on what are the future changes going to happen in the industry, what are the new rules going to come up, what is the marketing strategy be done. All these things you need to plan well in advance. Otherwise, in the last moment when you enter the market, by that time market will be saturated. So this is what missing with many players in the industry. And another thing is the brand building. See, basically in the business, you can have a direct profit. But not only that, you forget that if you structure the company properly, that gives you another additional income. One more thing is, parallelly, if you brand your product or brand your company, naturally that brand will bring more business and more thing. This is what many companies, they just believe that, okay, they do business, they get a normal market share. But same way, you just you take care of the branding. In our group, we put lot of effort. Always, when we budget 3% to 5% in any division, we keep it for the branding purpose actually. So branding means a creative branding method you need to use. There are many things. For example, in the maritime sector, we run a television channel. So far, we have never ever taken a single money as advertisement from any clients. But for us, it is we are giving a service to the industry. But for us, it's the best branding tool, because through that TV channel only now the entire shipping industry know our brand. We are so close to the industry. Like that, there are many creative ways you can approach branding. You can run a different perspective. For example, you are from Kerala. Okay, in Kerala, 5 years back, if you ask about Aries, no one knows. But 5 years back, we started our first branding theatre in Trivandrum. Today, the entire nation know about that. Entire nation know that the best theatre in India is in Trivandrum, and that is our brand actually. So, like that, you need to have a strategy to build your brand. Many things, if you plan, I think that will take you to a different level. That will place you on top of your competitors.
Dr. Tariq, Sharjah is the manufacturing hub of UAE, because there are any number of the small SMEs are actually manufacturing small products, industrial products as well. Or at the same time, we see that it's a fourth industrial revolution now. We see that technology disruption is there, and most of them are not actually upgraded themselves, their skill to face the challenges of technology, disruptive technologies. So what is your advice? What they should be doing? Actually, they should have a pulse on the market. The industrial revolution is there, because if new products are coming, they use fintech as well as artificial intelligence. How prepared should we be?
I think the technology definitely. I mean, if you look at the manufacturing sector, robotic. I mean, most of the big companies are using robots, to make it, because robots work 24 hours, with no pension and no nothing. So it all depends on the industry. But I think the Sharjah, as we all know, is a distribution hub and a manufacturing hub of UAE and the region also. I think the incorporation of this innovation in your premises or in your company is definitely, that's the future to go. And I think rightly Mr. Roy says that you have to work for tomorrow. You have to see how the technology or where you would take it. What we see today, when we are ready after 1 year, maybe it's already obsoleted, So you have to really do your homework, do have a research. You have to have a proper consultant, like Mr. saying, who can advise people that what is the right thing to do tomorrow for you. But technology and innovation and all these buzzwords, we had blockchain and all these. But before you implement them, you have to understand them very clearly. A lot of people I see, they say, oh, I want to do this, but if you ask them more detail, they have no idea how to incorporate it. So I think education is very important, and especially Sharjah being the top education is a top priority of His Highness, of the ruler of Sharjah. I understand like $1 billion every year is contributed in the education sector. That educating in not only in the students, educating the SMEs and the business sector also. There are a lot of things in the market, but we are not properly educated. I think, that would be one of the new initiatives that maybe Sharjah, implement, that how to educate SMEs on different sector and how it is. I want to make two comments. One, we talked about the branding. And I still see, I live in US for more than 40 years. I have a lot of my most business in US. That I see that still business cards here, in UAE, they have website, but the email address is Gmail. These are the common things we look at in US when we do business. Doesn't matter what business card it is. This is how we judge the business people. And first thing we do, if we think we have a good brand or we'd like to be a good brand, you trademark yourself. And I hardly see people focus on these two things, and you have to protect your rights. intellectual properties. You have to look at the future. This is how in the future is, media and all that, yes, is there, but you have to protect yourself, then you can represent yourself properly and everything. And other comment that Mr. Singh mentioned about this banks and not the documents and everything, I think one of the issue, my personal opinion is that why these banks or the documents, the clients or SMEs could not have it, because we live in this new environment. Until last year when the VAT started, we start to do our books right way. Before there was no way of system that people maintain their books or share their books with some authority or some entity, but it's been done here for 50, 60 years, so nobody actually maintained that books, so they're not used to. So maybe there's education need to be done. Now people are more organized, auditing their books, and they're big organized. I'm talking about SME startup level, that they have to be more educated how do you maintain your books. And it's not about maintenance, how it's properly done to the eyes of the financial section, the sector, because they look everything different way. They need ROI, they need security and multiple things, which we as a businessman don't look at that. We just keep moving on, to see how to make money. But it's not about how to make money, how to represent yourself in different entities if you do require. When you go into the public sector, there are a lot of requirements that need to be fulfilled, and they're not requirement for 1 year, they look at for the decades of history. So I think we all have to be educated in different sectors in different way. But coming back to your original question again, that I think Sharjah have a lot of opportunities. What I understand, even Sharjah have the Sharjah Research and Innovation New Center by American University of Sharjah that created the new free zone, which is totally focused on innovation and research and development. And I visited that, last week, that, they have so many creative, they even building 3D villas in Sharjah, and I've seen physically with my own eyes. So I can see that there's a lot of like-minded people, a lot of futuristic people are here in Sharjah who are taking Sharjah into the next level.
Okay, Mr. Khurana, we see that the UAE is a small market. There are any number of SMEs and others. Now, they should be catering to the markets outside this region. So how are they prepared? Because are they actually looking beyond the shores of UAE to expand their business as well as to capture more business?
Sir, as my friend has told that we have to see outside. And then for that outside, you have to do a networking. So till the time we don't see outside, within this region, the market is smaller. So we have to see outside and then see this. As in the beginning of this conference, Mr. Sajid has said that India is the best bet for UAE, because India is majority of India is a non-oil. So we want to expand our economy in UAE from oil to non-oil. And then India is the best example. And in this part of world, around 30% are Indians. If I say that's extended Indians, we put India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, all those people together. So they contribute to 40-45% population. And for that 40-45% population, their needs, a majority of their needs can be taken care from India. So India is a low-cost producing country. So we can, if SME study more about India, they understand and they can take advantage of that. So definitely, your question on whether we should go see outside, we should see outside, and India is one of them.
Mr. Roy, you said, no, your group is one of the most diversified groups because now you have well-planned backward integration, forward integration. But what we find is that now most of these SMEs, they don't have any strategy plan like that now for diversification, even forward integration or even other kind of things. Now, what they should be doing actually, should they actually contain themselves in the same chosen field, or they should actually look outside?
See, now the world is open and every day the business strategies change. If you limit your operation to a small world, you are finished actually, because competition is too big and your competitors are trying to search around the world. So you need to move out, you need to find new markets, you need to diversify. Otherwise, because you take any industry, there will be, it is like a sine curve, there will be an up and down. So when there is a downfall, that time if your operation is not diversified, there won't be another thing to support you. Unless you have sufficient bank balance to go through that rough phase. So that is one thing. And see, the main thing what I have identified is, because we normally conduct so many every year, because we have our own 15 IPs for event management actually. So we conduct different events. Every month we have at least 2 events worldwide, different countries we conduct. So what we identify is only not even 10% of the companies they send a representative to attend and understand what is happening around, what is the new market because in these events we give guideline about the market growth, market potential, everything. But these people, they don't do proper homework to come and meet this. For the networking, they are not coming up. They are not coming and learning what is going to happen in the industry. This is what missing. So this kind of education should be given to especially for the marketing side people. Otherwise, you will limit to the small nutshell. Maybe you are successful today, but it doesn't mean that you are a successful person tomorrow. Because it's a competitive world, it's a survival, just like the survival of the fittest. If you are not molding yourself for the future, you are finished.
Mr. Khurana, to some extent, we can also blame the SMEs. As I said, is like, the government and authorities are actually, providing lot of incentives. Lots of incentives are there, incentivizing everything for financing as well as for your factoring services. All other services are there. But don't you think that most of them are not availing them or not aware of it?
Yes, sir. All those things, again, question comes because they are not aware of it. Why they are not aware of it? There are two reasons. Banks are not promoting it. The authorities are not promoting it.
Anyway, so banks will not approach them. It should be the other way around.
So it's both way around. It's both way. The person who needs, he also go and get it, and the person who wants to give it, he also promote it. So that is why in these cases, then the role of the consultants will come about.
Yeah.
So that is key. They should basically, for anything, as you said, because for everything to start with, till the time they don't plan, they don't understand, they don't do the networking, they don't do their own research, they're not understanding all those things will happen. So before the moment idea comes, you have to see whether the idea is viable or not, whether the idea will be viable for next 2, 3, 4, 5 years or not. And then on the basis of that, they do their own research, their own work, go to the respective subject matter experts, go to the technical people, go to the expert people, take their advice, understand, and then move on. Because if someone comes to us and says, okay, I want to incorporate a company, which is okay, we don't say that's okay, come and cut the company. Says, okay, why you want to incorporate? What's the reason? Then we'll advise them, okay, do it in the mainland, or do it in this free zone, or do it with this zone. I will advise them, okay, you can take this, you can take this. Instead of why you're going for a general lessons, when you take these 5 activities, it will save you money. And also because instead of general trading lessons, you take 5 activities, the bank will also be more comfortable to open a bank account. So all these things, when an SME starts, he doesn't know it.
Yeah.
And then now how it comes? Either bank should promote this, or free zone should approve it, or authority should improve it, or there must be a cohesive by the receiver, by the giver, and by the service provider. They should jointly have a network, have some platform where they can go and understand it. So something on this has to be taken care of.
Thank you. I think we covered the entire gamut of the challenges, the solutions, and especially from the experts and those who have experienced it.